Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna talk about fixatives in perfumery, or how to make very long-lasting perfumes with the help of the fixatives. So I have a lot of comments in my previous videos about making long-lasting perfumes and how to make the perfumes to last longer. I got some comments from India. Thank you very much for your support from India and also from the United States, Serbia, many other countries. I'm so happy, guys, that you're so active and you're asking me questions. So one of the comments, somebody asked me, they told me, like, we in India, we love the perfumes to last 12 hours and more. So how to do this, how to make it happen. So today I'm going to tell you very important information how to make your perfume to last longer. So this is very much applied for the professional perfumery or people who want to make perfumes for business, but also people at home who want to make perfumes for your friends or for yourself, or specifically people who are dealing with natural perfumery using only essential oils. This is going to be very, very helpful. So please stay until the end and take some notes, because the information is very important and very good information that you're not going to find easily nowhere in internet. So people don't want to share this kind of information, but take me as a Prometheus, because I've been in your place and I know that it's difficult to find this information. It's kept very secretly. That's why I want to share it today with you. So let's start. First of all, in my previous videos, I told you guys about how to make your perfume last longer. And I told you about the components of a modern perfume. So if you remember, the modern perfume, besides the top, middle and base notes, have other components that are very important, and those are modifiers, blenders and fixatives. Fixatives are the compounds that are in the perfumes that make the perfume to last longer. Those are ingredients with amazing qualities that they can also enhance and extend the life of a fragrance. Simply said, they make your perfume to last longer. How? Because of their specific qualities as ingredients, they have this quality to slower the evaporation rate of the other ingredients or notes. So as you know, the notes, ingredients that evaporate the first and they don't last longer, those are the top notes. The middle notes, they have a middle range of lasting between 1 to 2 hours or something like this on a paper strip. Different. And the base notes, they have long duration of evaporation, they last longer. So fixatives are those ingredients, I'm going to tell you which one exactly, that they enhance other notes like a base, top note or heart note, and then also slower the evaporation process of those notes by make them lasting longer. Not only this, but some of those fixatives, they also can last up to 400 hours on a paper strip. Well, on a paper strip is different than on the skin, because on the skin you have the chemical reaction with your skin, you have sometimes sweating and water, so it doesn't last that long, but on the paper strip it lasts much longer. So let's dive in those fixatives and who they are. I'm going to give you names of those ingredients, and I'm going to tell them about their properties. And the most important part here is how to choose your correct fixatives. So basically, those fixative ingredients can be from natural origin, essential oils, for example. They can be synthetic ingredients, synthetic aroma molecules created in a laboratory. Those fixatives, there are three groups of fixatives. First group is the group that reduce the evaporation level, and they have a very small odor impact, which means they don't smell that strongly by themselves as an ingredient, but when you add them in a fragrance combination, perfume, they slow the evaporation level of the other ingredients. In those are the ones that we are so interested to find out and to use them. So some of those are strictly forbidden. I'm not gonna talk about those one from IFRA in those countries that apply the IFRA standards, like Europe, for example. Some of those are just restricted, so you have to use them in the allowed quantities, and I'm gonna tell you. Those fixatives, they don't have particular odor, which means they don't interfere with the theme of your fragrance. But when you add them into your perfume compound, they're gonna make all the other fragrance to last longer. Isn't this amazing? Yes, this exists. And pay attention, because I'm gonna tell you which one. First of those, it's ethylene brassylate. So I'm gonna put the name here for you guys. This is a synthetic molecule. You can barely smell it. I have it here. Let me just find it. And I'm gonna show you, because it's not easy. I have other things on the other side. Ethylene brassylate, it's here. Here. This is the ethylene brassylate. You see, it's a liquid. And this ethylene brassylate can last by itself on a paper strip up to 400 hours. So this ethylene brassylate doesn't have a particular smell, a very low smell. It's a musk, clean, musky smell, but not strong. So it means you can use it in all kind of perfumer types. For example, citrus, ambery, woody goes very well with the woody type. Flowery also goes very well with the flowery, and it extends the whole combination of perfume a lot. This ethylene brassylate, you can use it diluted in 10%, or I don't even dilute it. I use it like this, like it is, because it doesn't have super strong smell. If you combine this ethylene brassylate with galaxolide, that by itself, galaxolide doesn't have super strong smell. Galaxolide smells like amberseed, a little bit ambery. If you combine those two together in a small quantity and you put them in your perfumes, believe me, this is gonna extend the longevity up to 30–40% without to interfere too much with your main theme of the perfume. Not only this, so there is another one, and this is habanolite. Habanolite is another musk. It's a sweet, dry musk, and if you combine, that lasts up to 400 hours. If you combine habanolite with ethylene brassylate and galaxolide, exaltolite, and or isoe super, trust me, this is gonna extend enormously your perfume longevity up to 6-8 hours and more. So now, let's speak frankly, guys. You don't want a perfume that smells more than 8-12 hours. This is way too much. And people start not to enjoying it after 6 hours on the person. It's getting annoying. So if you achieve to make a perfume last between 4 and 6, 8 hours, this is already incredible. So those ingredients, like I told you, ethylene prasilate, galaxolite, isoisopor, habanolite, or even if you add raspberry ketone, I'm going to put the names, believe me, this is enough for your fragrance to last 8 hours, between 6 and 8 hours, without changing drastically the odor profile of your creation. So those are 5 magical ingredients. Now, I'm going to tell you about more magical ingredients. I'm going to speak now about the natural fixatives. Those are the fixatives, mostly resinous. They are resins. For example, benzoin, it's a resin. Benzoin, it's a natural fixative. I always show the benzoin because it's amazing. So now, IFRA restricted the usage of the benzoin, so you have to be careful how much you put according to the IFRA standards if you are in Europe. And I'm going to tell you one very specific trick, how to recognize those molecules, those ingredients that they're going to last longer than the others. It's super easy. Those ingredients that last longer, and generally they are base notes, they have bigger molecules, and this is translated in very thick substance. So this is benzoin, it's a resinous substance. Look how thick it is. So I'm gonna put a look. It's a drop, you see? So this is thick. If you see somewhere thick ingredient, liquid, very thick, like almost like glue, you have to know that this one's gonna last much longer than the others. So benzoin, it's one of the natural fixative. Other fixative, it's labdanum that has very strong smell. More, another resinoid, olibanum, tolu balsam, it's one of the best natural fixatives. Peru balsam, vanilla resinoid, and sandalwood. Well, sandalwood, it's in danger, the natural sandalwood, but you can use some, created in synthetic creation in the laboratories. So this is about the natural fragrances. So second group of fixatives, those are fixatives that they have strong odor profile and they impact or create the entire fragrance profile. For example, they can create the whole fragrance. You can create a perfume using only those fixatives and it's gonna last much, much longer than anything else. So those are patchouli, beeswax, oak moss. Oak moss is now, the natural one is restricted, but you can use the synthetic one, which is amazing also. It's called Veramos or Evernew. This is the same names, different names to the same product, depends on the company. Synthetic sandalwood and cedarwood atlas. So those fixatives, they have strong smell, but you can build your fragrance, around those fixatives. For example, Evernew smells exactly like oak moss, but it's the synthetic equivalent because it doesn't have any allergens like the oak moss have. It's green, it's mossy, it's used in all the fougères and also the chypre combinations. It's amazing. So Evernew or Veramoss by itself is the same. Can last up to 400 hours on a paper strip, not diluted. So this one, because it has a very strong odor profile impact, you have to dilute it. Depends how much you want, but usually it's 10% or less. You can dilute it in DPG or even in ethanol alcohol. And yes, some of those you have to dilute them because they have a strong odor impact. Patchouli, it's not super expensive, you can use it. Beeswax, you have to dilute it because it's an absolute and a tincture, so it should be diluted also. Cedarwood Atlas can last up to 400 hours on a paper strip, so my recommendation is dilution, otherwise it's gonna absolutely take over everything rest. So those are arbitrary fixatives or fixatives that they contribute to the smell, you know. Patchouli, beeswax, oak moss, or Evernew, sandalwood, cedarwood, atlas. So these fixatives, they are amazing because they also give a lot of radiation, not diffusion mostly, not radiation, but also radiation. They make the ingredients radiate, to diffuse a lot. And the third group of the fixatives that is also very interesting here, it's called the exalting fixatives. It means they enhance other ingredients in your perfumes. Those are a lot of magical ingredients that make every other ingredient, specifically the top notes, they enhance them to the maximum in the hard notes. And those are super magical ingredients, to my opinion. When you put them a little bit, everything else inside, if it was bland, it's like poof, explosion of smells, up to 20-30% more diffusion. So those are amazing fixative. Not only that, but they're gonna make also your fragrance to last longer. I smell like benzoin now. Who are those exalting fixative? Take notes. Those are the natural one. The first one is Peru balsam. So Peru balsam, it's also, I think, restricted from IFRA. You have to use it in small quantities, dilute it, or just a little bit. And Peru balsam enhances all other ingredients inside of your perfume compound, like the top notes. The other one is, which one that I love, it's Polysanthol. Polysanthol has a sandalwood profile, smells like sandalwood with slightly smoky profile. So this is super magical ingredient and I really love. I think it's now restricted, but you can use just a little bit. You don't need a lot to use it. So when you put a polysanthol, of course, depends on what kind of perfume you're creating, but because it's going to give you a little bit of smokiness to the end. But if you dilute it and you put just a little bit, it's going to boost, enhance all the top and hard notes, going to project them like a fusion up, you know, and it's magical. Just try it. Polysanthol, just few drops or dilute it, and you're gonna see the effect. Of course, it's gonna change a little bit the profile. It's gonna give smokiness or slightly sandalwoodish note to your fragrance. And yes, for example, how to choose which fixative to use in your fragrance. Well, depends what kind of fragrance you are creating. For example, for our amberish kind of oriental smell, you can use musks and you can use all the resinoids and balsam stuff. You can use ethylene brassylate combined with raspberry ketone can bind with galaxolite, habanolite, exaltolite, for example. You can use them there. The thing is here, the problem is if you want to make entirely citrusy green fragrance that smells citrusy. So which one should you use here? So my recommendation here is to use another magical ingredient called isobutyl quinoline, but diluted to 1% or less because it's super powerfully strong. So try isobutyl quinoline in all the citrus combination, and it's gonna make all your citruses to last 50 to 60% longer. Other ingredient that you can use here, it's, let me check because I took some notes, exaltolite and all kind of musks. So I'm gonna tell you, exaltolite, habanolite, galaxolite, ethylene brassylate, raspberry ketone, and if you use also vanilla or ethyl vanillin, this is gonna also project your fragrances to the heaven, make them last more than 8 hours. So vanilla, it's a bit expensive for vanilla resinolate. It's expensive. You can use it to, when you put it, it's a natural booster, enhancer, and it makes all other ingredients enhance and project more, but it gives a slightly vanilla and sweetness to the fragrance. So I'm using here, and it's expensive. There is equivalent called ethyl vanillin, which is a crystals powder. As you can see, people are using also this for cooking. It smells absolutely gorgeous like vanilla. And you can use ethylene vanillin to boost also the projection and the longevity, and it enhances the smell of other ingredients. This is like a bonus. What else? What else? What else? We talk about everything else. Yes, one other magical ingredient called Orantia. And this ingredient can last undiluted. It can last up to 400 hours. This is like more than 2 weeks, 10 days almost. No, it's not 2 weeks. It's more than 10 days. So this Orantia, it has a very strong odor profile, but it's gorgeous and it smells like orange flowers. It's absolutely gorgeous, but because it's super strong, we have to dilute it to 10% in GPG, for example. And if you put a little bit of this Orantia, creating your citruses or flowery stuff, this is gonna boost and enhance the longevity of your fragrance. Okay, so this is for me for today. I hope this information is useful for you to create long-lasting perfumes. Use my recommendation, as I told you, combine the musks, 2-3 musks, plus all the fixatives that I told you here. You're gonna see how they're gonna boost incredibly your fragrance and can last more than 8, even 10, 12 hours. Sometimes it can last even longer. And as a bonus, I'm gonna give you another musk. It's Ambroxan. Here, Ambroxan is also a fixative. Here, it's powderish crystal, and it smells like the ever new or oak mossy green, slightly piney, a bit sweetish. Ambroxan is the main ingredient of Baccarat Rouge from Francis Kilgian. If you like this kind of smell, so you can use also Ambroxan. It's very long lasting and fixative. It makes your fragrance to last longer. Okay, people, thank you so much for staying and learning with me. I hope this is helpful for you. So now I'm creating my own brand. I'm super busy with the creation of my fragrances. I have 4 fragrances. My website is going to be ready soon. I'm going to tell you when it's ready, so subscribe, because I'm going to give some free samples to my subscribers to have an idea how it smells and to give me your feedback. And also, for all the perfumers here, I have created those books available in Amazon. Perfume Formula Notebook, this is soft cover and this is the hard cover. In Amazon Europe, I think, in Amazon.com, you can find it from Julian Angelov, Haute Perfumery. And I'm gonna give some links. So look how it looks inside, and it's fantastic to write your perfume formula correctly if you are a perfumer or perfume maker or soap maker or every candle maker, or if you're just a hobbyist perfumer. And that's it for me. Give me a thumb if you find this useful, and hope to see you soon with more videos about making perfumes. Bye bye.